What's going on, everyone? JonJonTheWise, and I got another Cyberpunk video for you guys. Today I'm going to be talking about the typical kind of gigs that you might be running in your Cyberpunk game. These are common kinds of gigs, common kinds of campaign plots, and I wanted to give you guys my insight on how I ran them and the different ways that you can run them and the different ways that you can play them as a player. But before we get into that, make sure you join the Discord community. You find me on social media at JonJonTheWise, and you join me at patreon.com/JonJonTheWise if you want to help this channel immensely. Also, make sure you subscribe to Tabletop Cyberpunk, my podcast. Also, if you need some really cool D10s, you'll find an affiliate link in the description. I'll get a little kickback from D10s by ENIFAEL, beautiful D10s for your Cyberpunk games. So Cyberpunk has kind of a common loop with most games. You get a gig, you go perform the gig, you get paid, rinse and repeat. And that's basically the common gaming loop. The fun part is what happens in between and how you solve those problems. For long form campaigns, that kind of stuff can be prolonged to be a larger, more overarching narrative than just settling something in one day. For example, for like a one-shot campaign, you might send your players in to kill a booster at some kind of booster gang hideout. But for a long form campaign, you might be trying to find dirt and evidence on a corporate exec who has been corrupted or is being corrupt, and that can take a much longer time as you're putting all of that together. Now let's talk about how you can possibly execute the plan. Once your players find out that they're going to be going after somebody, they have different ways to decide how they're going to be executing this plan. Will they go overtly? Are they going to go guns blazing and just go straight to the hideout, crash in through the door, and just shoot everybody that moves? Or are they going to go covertly? Are they going to be entrenched inside of the organization? Are they going to infiltrate their inner workings and then in one fell swoop, they attack and take out the target? Whether you go covertly or overtly, that will definitely impact your reputation. If people know where you were and word gets around that you did what you did, then Night City is a really small place. People will know who you are, and next time you walk into a place, they might recognize you. Now, another part of executing the plan is actually locating the target. So you might have some information from the fixer, but the fixer might not know the exact location of the target. The target might have some kind of random patterns, and it's up to the party to try to figure out where to lock them down. Once they locate the target, your party might want to do some reconnaissance and wants to see exactly where the target is located to see how difficult it would be to get inside and get them away. Research. You're going to be reading books, going to the library, doing library search. The players might find themselves tailing a subject, maybe following them, seeing where they go, studying their patterns. If they're investigating, they might want to take some pictures, video, or audio evidence to hold for whatever reason so that they are able to execute this plan. The first and most common gig that I'll be talking about is Assassination. This is something that's super easy. It's basically identifying a target and eliminating them. This is a type of mission you'll see in a lot of one-shot campaigns. It's a type of mission you'll see in most campaigns. In fact, Assassination might be like a side quest in your campaign because it's so common that a lot of game masters don't want to focus on that as the main campaign arc. But nevertheless, it is always a good time to make a great plan to take someone out. Now, what are some of the obstacles that will get in your player's way if they're trying to assassinate somebody? For one, the target could be in a fortified position, such as a gang hideout or any kind of place where the place has been entrenched. They have weapons, they have patrols. All of that is what makes it fortified. And even if it's not fortified, there might be security there, and there's just so many things that get in between you and the target that they are safe from harm. Another common obstacle is the fact that the target is in public. There is the Night City Police Department to worry about. There's other forces, vigilantes, security, all those things happen in public. You know, we're talking about the dark future here where corporations, they have interests in their customers feeling safe in the places where they run their businesses. So they might hire some special security, some private security in the area that will shoot anyone that wants to start trouble. Another situation might come around where the target is missing. The people that are usually around the target don't know where that target is, and the person giving you the job doesn't know where the target is. This is a fun fun way for the players to go around from one place to another asking questions, trying to find where the target is. Yeah, and maybe the target runs away really well. They are elusive, they are resilient, they are really hard to take down, and they're really hard to nail. And just because of that, it will be very difficult for the players to get the job done. You don't want to prematurely attack and let your target know that you're coming after them. You want to have the element of surprise. So if the players fail on that execution, it must be harder the next time for them to take out this target. And that way the target is elusive, it's running around, it's going from place to place, it's got burner phones, it's paying people off, and little by little it's getting more and more difficult to kill the target. Last but not least, one of the most important obstacles that comes into the way of the players is the target itself is dangerous. Maybe it's dangerous because of the people that it has around it, or maybe it's dangerous because it is combat proficient, just like the players are. This is obviously something that most people will take into account because it's not fun taking down a target that doesn't fight back. But one that fights back hard is always going to be an obstacle that gets in the way of the players. And maybe through their investigations, they realize this, and they realize we gotta have the advantage when we're coming after this target, or else we could fail. All right, now we're done talking about assassination. Let's talk about another common gig, which is kidnapping or rescuing. Two of them are basically cousins. A lot of the execution goes the same way. It is the act of obtaining a designated target and forcibly taking them away against their will, or obtaining a designated target and taking them away willingly. Now, very similar to assassination, if the target is unwilling to die, they are also unwilling to be kidnapped. So remember, the target can be dangerous, and that's something to look out for. The target could be in a safe, fortified location. And of course, if the target knows you're coming after them, they may be elusive, or their captors might be elusive. Next up, let's talk about retrieval missions. Go and get the thing. Retrieving an object or a piece of information. Now remember, information is very important in Cyberpunk. If they know that they have to hack a laptop, well, you better bring a netrunner or somebody that has a high electronic security skill, just because you want to be able to get that information. If you're retrieving an object, it could be behind a safe. You might need somebody to grease some palms, to bribe some people, and you might need somebody that knows their way around the city. So building a team to retrieve something is very important as well. If the party cannot handle it, it's good to have the backup that they need to be able to get the job done. Now remember, if the players go in and kick the front door, then the people that are holding the object or the piece of information might realize that someone's coming after them, and the information that is important, they might put it in a briefcase, hop in the nearest car, and zoom out of there before the players could even get to the location in hand. Next up, let's talk about investigation missions. These are really fun. These are really good for long form campaigns. The other three that I just talked about are really good for either long form campaigns or one shots, but investigations need to take their time. Investigating is about researching, following leads, and piecing together evidence to solve a crime or an incident. It's really about getting as much information as possible, either for a client or your own personal needs. Some of the many obstacles that your players will get through is dead ends and red herrings. Dead ends will be all around every corner. There will be leads that lead to nothing. There have to be rumors. As a game master, remember to include these. You have to include it, especially if you have a long form campaign. That's why taking your time is really important. If it's a one shot, I understand if the first guy they talk to has the information they need. But if you're talking about a long form campaign, people lie. People don't know exactly what they saw. They make mistakes. And the red car was a pink car. The blue car was a green car, etc. Also, remember, not everybody is willing to talk to the players or the police or any kind of investigator. You know, snitches get stitches, or other people just want to mind their own business. So make sure that you play NPCs that way as well. Not everybody is a friendly, happy NPC in the dark future. The players will also have limited access to places and to computers and to personal information. So remember that they will have to circumvent those obstacles to be able to continue their investigation. Maybe a little bit of breaking and entering, maybe a little bit of library search or hacking, and all of that is just part of the investigation. And of course, maybe the players don't have jurisdiction. If you're not playing a lawman character in your game, then you definitely do not have jurisdiction in the place that you're going. That is strictly for the police and not for vigilante. Well, chooms, that's about it for this video. I really appreciate all the support and love I've been getting from the community. I hope this insight has helped you. If you are watching my channel, make sure that you subscribe, you like, you do all those things that help in the algorithm, and we will see you guys on the next video. Thank you. Bye.